In today's SNG Explains, we will talk about the strong influence of the Pakistani army in the politics of the country. Pakistan finds itself in the midst of yet another manufactured crisis, with former Prime Minister Imran Khan's arrest last week in a corruption case. While his supporters went on the rampage, he subsequently got a reprieve from the Supreme Court that termed his arrest illegal. Imran's arrest was a direct fallout of his soured ties with the army, an institution that has ruled the country for nearly half of its 75-year-odd history. And even when there has been civilian rule, the army has wielded tremendous influence over the nation's politics and politicians. In 1962, former Prime Minister Hussain Shahid Suhrawardi was arrested for not pandering to Ayub Khan. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto met the same fate in 1977 with Zia-ul Haq in command. His daughter Benazir Bhutto was no exception. Former Premier Nawaz Sharif and his brother Shehbaz, the incumbent Prime Minister too, have spent time in jail earlier after falling out of favour with the military. So what makes the Pakistani army so powerful? After its partition from India, Pakistan had a weak polity. Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League barely had any experience in governance, and due to a weak civilian government, the army arrogated to itself the power to rule by projecting itself as a defender of national interest. The army has also sought to keep itself relevant and powerful, stressing the need for greater national security by citing what it calls threat from India. It has also ensured that Kashmir, which is an emotive issue, is kept boiling.
So the army, number one, came as this, this big force, organized force which came in when nothing else was there. That was one factor. And secondly, right from its inception, Pakistan got involved in conflict with India, which then went on to make it a security state. Now, the moment a state becomes a security state, then it's the security agencies which tend to get primacy in such a system.
Powerful as it is, the army remains one of the most corrupt institutions in Pakistan, despite legitimately enjoying a major chunk of national expenditure. And Imran Khan, by projecting himself as a victim for pursuing his vision of so-called Naya Pakistan, has managed to channelize public anger. That was evident in the way his supporters attacked and vandalized army installations, something that even took the military by surprise.
The army is the most powerful organization. It is the most well-funded. It has enormous resources, all of that. And yet, it craves for legitimacy and endorsement from the public. The army cannot keep, at least not in a country like Pakistan, cannot keep running the place until and unless it has the bulk of people actually backing it in one form or another, endorsing its actions, giving it the legitimacy it requires.
But despite the army's meddling in Pakistani politics, it remains a necessary evil.
This is a kind of a catch-22 situation. You need the army to set things right, but if the army continues to stay in power, then things can't be set right. Because the army has, its own agendas, its own priorities, and its own way of doing things. The civilians have their own way of doing things. So at one level, you can't completely divorce what is happening in the country from the role which the army plays. But if you give the army a role in whatever is happening in the country, then how do you set things right? Because many of the things which are wrong in Pakistan can be traced back to the army's involvement in the affairs of state.
Stay tuned for more such topics on SNG Explains. Watch our previous shows on the channel. We will be back with a new topic for you. Till then, keep watching Strat News Global. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share.